We're going to start off with some NHL rapid fire and thing. Well, let's bring on our star handicapper of the moment, my good friend, Chicken Dinner Chirimbes.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications every time we have a new video.
NHL rapid fire. Let's start with the Las Vegas Golden Knights, 27-20 at the Tampa Bay Lightning, 32-5. The Knights on a 2-game win streak, the Lightning on a 3-game win streak. This is game one, though, of a 2-game series for the Knights. They're 3-1-0 all-time, Vegas versus the Lightning. So Vegas doing quite well against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, though, 6-0 straight up in the last 6 games at home. That's perfect. And they are 1.5 goals per Tampa Bay, minus 1.5. Total goals, 6.5. So what's the puck line?
You mean the total, the 6.5?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be as concerned about that as I am the fact that I think this Las Vegas Golden Knight team, Nick, is not quite the same team we saw dash into the NHL 2 seasons ago. Last year it was like the sophomore jinx, and now they've sort of leveled out. And fair to Midland, they're above the Mendoza line, that's for sure. But as a dog, they've won 8, and on the money line, they've won 8 of the last 31. So they're 8-23 as a dog on the road. I would play the money line here. I don't lay goals in hockey at all. I don't like getting caught in any manner, shape, or form. I look to just win the game. And I would take Tampa here. They're 22-6 against the Pacific and 46-19 straight up at home in the last 65 games. So as a favorite, 74-33. The Lightning have been the premier team in the league the last couple of seasons, but just didn't get the cup. I think they're going to handle Vegas here at home.
What is the puck line now for the Lightning?
I don't know. I would just, like I said, you said it was 1.5.
No, that's the goals. What's the money line for the Lightning?
I'd say it's at least 2-1, $1.80.
Minus $1.80 or plus $1.80?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
minus $1.80 to win the game.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. You got to speak English to me, Chirimbes. Come on. I mean,
you speak.
And
the
I don't
King's
mean
English.
Anglo-Saxon or oldie English.
Well, see, there you go. You're speaking European English. Go ahead.
All right. Next up, Ducks at Senators. The Ducks 21-26 at the Senators are 18-24. 4-6 in the last 10, coming off a 3-1 win over the Kings. We're talking about the Ducks now. They're 9-16-2 straight up, 14-3 against the spread on the road. And the Senators 2-8 in the last 10. They're on a 2-game losing streak. 12-9-5 at home. They're 14-12 against the spread. They've gone over in the last 5, and they are just have them as 1.5-point favorites at home here. 6 goals total. You're going to take the money line on this. I'm assuming you're taking the Senators, right?
I would. I'll tell you why. It isn't that they're so great. They've only won 1 of the last 9 home games, Nick. So that's a very heavy number. That's a very strong number. I think it should be smaller, not so pricey. Anaheim is 21-26. They have a better record, but Anaheim's 3-13 straight up as an underdog on the road in their last 16. So, and they're 3-15 after a straight up win, which is kind of big to me because some of these guys they take a deep breath and we won a game last night, so they don't feel the same intensity the following evening. Ottawa is 5-1 at home against this club on the money line, and I'd play that, though I don't think this is a game of choice, Nick. These are not the best of NHL teams.
All right, let's move along, shall we?
Sure.
The Chicago Blackhawks versus the Minnesota Wild. The Blackhawks 25-21-6. They're 7-3 in the last 10. 13-9-3 straight up. 18-17 against the spread on the road. They've gone over in 7 of the last 10 on the road when playing the Wild, and the Wild are 23-22-6. Another kind of average team here. 4-6 in the last 10, coming off a 6-1 thumping by Boston Bruins. 14-7-4 straight up, 11-14 against the spread at home. Wild are, home favorites here, pretty much always the case. They think it's going to be 6 goals, which seems to be the standard line these days. What are you taking on this? You're taking money line. You're going to take the home team or the visitors?
I've done very well on and against this Minnesota team. Sometimes they've come home and they've lost 3-4 in a row and they've responded and they've won. But I have a sentimental feeling about this Chicago Blackhawk team. The very first hockey game I ever saw at Madison Square Garden, they won 1-0 on a slap shot winner by Bob Hull. You may remember
Bobby Hull, of course.
But anyway, of course. So
father of Brett Hull, and I don't know if many people even remember Brett Hull.
That was his son. This is back in 1964.
Of course,
I think it was.
No face masks back then. No helmets. No helmets.
No, really. And none of these guys had teeth at all. And they had the goalies. I don't know how they did it. And in Jacques Plante, when they allowed people to start wearing the face mask, they weren't even wearing it then. The face mask in the goal. But Minnesota's 6-15 against the Central. I'm not a Minnesota fan here. I think Chicago's played to a 7-1 as an underdog last 8 times out. I'm going to take the Blackhawks here, and I just love their jerseys and those uniforms.
Yeah.
That's another reason I love them.
Fantastic stuff. All right, 2 games, not much time, so let's make it quick. The Hurricanes at the Blues. The Hurricanes 13, 19, 3. They're 6-4 in the last 10. They just had a 4-3 winner over the Canucks. They are 12-10 and 2 straight up on the road. The Blues 5-5 in the last 10. They're on a 2-game losing streak. 17-4 straight up at home, though. Really good record. They are favorites at home with 5.5 total goals. You're going to take the Blues on this one, right? I would think.
I would. I think I'm inclined to. You know, last year when we took the break around Christmas time.
By the way, Chip. Speaking of Brett Hull, there we go.
Yeah.
St. Louis Blues legend, right?
There you go. There you go. Well, you know, like I was saying, they were in last place. They come up and win the Cup last year, and they're still playing great hockey. They're 4-1 in the last 5 meetings against Carolina, who's an excellent ball club. I mean, ball club. Listen to me. But they're 2-5 in their last. I have a tendency. I'd take St. Louis here. I really would. And like I said, I'd be laying the money line and not the puck. So I think that's a huge advantage, particularly if you get into the shootout and any type of overtime situation in the NHL.
All right, one last game very quickly. It's not a ball club, it's a puck posse. Okay, next up, the San Jose Sharks at the Calgary Flames. The Sharks 22, 27-4. They're 8-7 in the last 10. They're on a 2-game loser. The Flames 6-4 in the last 10, coming off a 8-3 thumping by the Oilers. Let's see who you're going to take on this one, home or away.
I'm looking for Calgary's for the Flames to light the place up. Look for them to melt some ice. You know, the San Jose Shark team is 9-23 in their last 32 on the road. And like you said, Calgary coming off that loss, coming home, only 3-7 in their last 10 at home. I'll take them here anyway, coming off those, see them atone for their recent losses on the road.
All right, Chip Chirimbes, always a pleasure.